Episode 29. Back from a long break, the live letter for patch 7.1 just concluded. I took the time to refuel myself and recharge my controller. It's rather late in the night, but I think I'll keep going, just because I have the time for it today. Well, if it isn't my favorite adventure, welcome back, Omori. Lady Minfilia awaits you in the solar. Please enter at your leisure. A lot of interesting stuff in the live letter. Stuff that wouldn't make sense to talk about in this video, considering where we are. But I guess I will say that the most interesting thing to come out of it to me would be the chaotic raids. I'm given to understand that the matter of Ramu has finally been resolved. I fear resolved bespeaks a permanence we cannot rightly claim. Yet I am well satisfied that the Lord of Levin will not trouble us in the foreseeable future. Your satisfaction is assurance enough for me. How fares the investigation? Well enough. Tancred is sparing no effort. There are many and one, just as you suspected. Their purpose, however, still eludes us. I see. I have been meaning to ask, but is Alice quite well? I feel as if I have scarcely seen her in recent days. Oh, you haven't, and nor have I, alas. Alice has chosen to walk her own path, stubborn girl. But you may be assured that our destination remains the same. And on that note, I take my leave of you. I trust the Baldessian report will serve you well. I take it we can proceed as discussed. Why do you ask? You scarce need my permission to act. It is good to see you again, Komori. I have been looking forward to congratulating you on your triumph in the Twelves Wood. Owing to your efforts, conflict has been averted. Truly you have done the Scions proud. With that, we can strike Ramu from the list. So who's next? The Sahagin and the Leviathan? The Lord of the Whirl has not answered his minion's call of late, nor is he expected to do so in the near future. While the Sahagin remain as aggressive as ever, they lack the quantity of crystals required to call forth their god. As with the Sylphs, we can leave them to their own devices, for a time at least. For a time bears repeating. We can ill afford to fall complacent. It is as Ishtola says, unless we know the minds of the beast tribes, we cannot predict with any certainty when next the primal will return to plague the land. That being the case, we must proceed with as much haste as prudence allows. Any word on Titan? The maelstrom keeps the kobolds under constant observation. We shall hear from them ere long, you may depend upon it. Indeed. So then, of all the known primals that have been active in recent times, we are left with Gridania. Wait, I meant Garuda, who is the primal of the Ixal who live near Gridania. Yes, that's what I meant. So many moms to cover. Would that there were a more efficient way to conduct our surveys. Were he still with us, we should not have long wanted for a more practicable solution. She's not wrong there. Where in the world are you, Chief? But one sure step at a time. Henceforth, the Order of the Twin Adder will handle all matters pertaining to the Sylphs, under the sage guidance of the Seed Seers. I bid you all enjoy a moment's respite. You have earned it. Is there something else, Komori? Beg pardon? A man named La Habrea, sporting a red mask and robed in black. 12 preserve. Prior to the calamity, the Ascians took great pains to remain hidden. Why would they choose to cast off their veil of secrecy now? Gods, this bodes ill. We must take advantage of the present lull in primal hostilities and investigate this La Habrea. Learn all we can of him and his designs. I dread to think. Eek. Tataru. A sylph in Danalan? At long last, this one finds walking one Komori. This one is most dependable of these ones. Is sent by Elder One Frixio to help walking ones. This one is called Noraxia. This one comes as a friend. Let these ones be friends. Pleasure to meet you, Noraxia. With our new arrival, I think it's due time to check in on things over in this room. Excuse me, lass. This might sound strange, but you haven't by chance seen a fellow what looks exactly like me. Looking for my twin brother, see? And I heard they might have come through here. Could be dead for all I know. At least it feels like I've been chasing ghosts for an eternity now. I think he said the same thing in a different location last time. But people have moved here. Maybe some of them will say the same things. But it seems a bit more lively in here. More nameless NPCs as well as more named ones, including Noraxia over there. Greetings, Scion. I come on behalf of the students of Baldessian. You may address me as Clive. I'm interested in how often the name Baldessian comes up this early on. It's something that I only recognized later on, I suppose, but if I were paying attention, I guess I would have seen it happening this often in a realm reborn. Is there some reason you are still here? Please carry on. I am not here to see you. Not sure who Clive is, though. Ishtola? As you have doubtless witnessed in your travels, the lands of Eorzea are gasping under the pall of a suffocating darkness. I must wonder if it is this darkness that invites disaster, or simply that disaster has left such a gloom in its wake. One thing is for certain, now is not the time to relax our vigilance. grumbled. I'm to meet with the antecedent soon to discuss a matter of great import. Abba thinks it's about time for my first official mission. I suppose it would be good if it was, yes? I mean, I'm not sure if I'm ready, but still. A masked man? I vaguely recall some Amalja ranting about something like that, in the middle of a skirmish. Of course, I wasn't listening too closely, on account of the fact their friends were trying to kill me. I don't mean to waste your time, friend, but that's the only thing that comes to mind. Yes, reading the dialogue in the middle of a battle is quite troublesome. Walking ones from Ul'dah have not seen these ones before. This one knows. Still, must walking ones make such screaming sounds when seeing this one's face? This one cannot get a wink of rest. Araxia. Araxia and I both wear a mask. We're going to get along famously, I just know it. Look, Noraxia, I realize that this makes no sense to you, but you must try to be more discreet. Years ago, a law was enacted in Ul'dah whereby... Please, just trust me and stay out of sight. I'm starting to wonder if it's worth the hassle to prove who he was. I mean, maybe some people would say, good on you, mate. Thanks for fighting to save Eorzea and whatnot. But I reckon most would ask what we've done for him lately, if not spit in our faces for allowing Bahamut to blow up half the goddamn world. Do you know these people, Orianter? Knowest thou of the import of the broken staff within the solar? It fell from the grasp of Archon Louis, the man who, in his abiding love for all Eorzeans, shielded us against the storm of the calamity. The stars wheel across the heavens, and the skies brighten once more. The survivors gather, and ignite a fiery dawn to burn away the glowering shroud. Ah, but Destiny, thou art beautiful. So, I guess they're having two separate conversations, these two groups. There are two types of Alamegans. Fools who wish to fight back, but know not how. And cowards, who've chosen to run from their worries. The young man over there is a striking example of the former. Me? I'm the latter, or couldn't you tell? In recent days, I've resumed my training. Idle hands make for idle minds, and painful memories are all too quick to resurface. You are training with a rake? I'm not sure which weapon the Yavin uses. People in masks cannot be trusted, but Biggs and I wear masks all the time when welding. If only Master Garland were still with us. He was a brilliant man, full of life and purpose, kind and generous. He taught us everything we know about engineering. Though believe me, he could also be a very hard person to please. He would force us to completely rebuild devices if even a single flaw was discovered. I can only imagine what he'd say if he saw the tiny Bronco. Yes, I guess before the cutscene I was just saying that the chaotic raids that they're adding in 7.1 seem interesting. Normally alliance raids are just something that have one difficulty, but I suppose they're finally adding some more interesting stuff there. but will probably be hard to coordinate. Speaking of the cutscene, I was wondering, there was a shot of Menphilia's outfit here. I didn't really realize it before, but I didn't really realize exactly what kind of outfit she's wearing here. It's a kind of skirt that's open at the front, I guess I understood that much. But there seems to be some kind of, I don't know, window in the back? Or I guess all around the top area around her waist. I guess that's combined with a pair of boots as well as undergarments. It's an interesting outfit. I wonder if it's something that you can get on the online store. Right, can't stand on the desk. Yes, Tataru is as ready to express her fright as she is to express everything else. Not all of us are forged of the same steel as you, I'm afraid. But it takes all kinds to make a family, and it pleases me to no end to see ours continue to grow. One by one, the people of Eorzea are beginning to unite, Komori, drawn to the hope that shines within you. Yet a darkness threatens to engulf this light. Never have I doubted the Ascians' presence, but that they have grown so brazen as to carry out their work in plain sight fills me with a deep foreboding. Should probably be talking to her from this position, would make the most sense, reporting to the commander. But this is just kind of tall and getting in the way. I suppose if I stand at a distance like this, or around here, we're still making eye contact, but it is in the way. Well, not that it really matters. I am afraid that there is no rest for the weary, Komori. We must delve further into the motivations of the masked man, the Ascian, known as La Habrea. This is an ideal moment to do so, while our hands are not bound, dealing with another primal. At present, we know little and less about the Ascians, only that destruction follows in their wake. I should not be surprised if these beings are behind the chaos that racks the realm. If my fears prove to be reality, we must do all in our power to stop them. Earlier, I sent word to each Grand Company to solicit cooperation. The Immortal Flames responded to the effect that they have information on a potential sighting. This is intelligence that we can ill afford to ignore. Go speak with the Flame Commander Swift at the Hall of Flames, in Ul'dah to inquire further. How you go about the investigation thereafter, I leave wholly to your discretion. But whatever you do, never forget that we are dealing with the unknown. You cannot take too many precautions. Be safe, Komori. While we're in the area, maybe we'll start the Black Mage quest. The Masked Man? Ah, you are come on behalf of the Scions, of course. Yes, as we've already relayed to Lady Menphilia, there has been a sighting of this rogue near about eastern Danalan. A brass blade stationed at Highbridge described him in detail when he was alerted to us to when he alerted us to suspicious activity. I would point you to the witness, but I'm afraid he died not 2 days ago, slain by a marauding horde of Kikirin. Fate can be a cruel mistress. But do not be too quick to despair. Being situated on a trade route, Highbridge sees its fair share of travelers. Folk are always coming and going, and some among them may well have caught a glimpse of your target. You could do worse than to speak with a merchant named Hihibaru. The fellow is always starved for customers, and he'd no doubt welcome your attention, whether or not you have coin or the mind to spend it. Highbridge is near a location we've been to before. Yes, this is where we had the Thaumaturge quest finale, or penultimate to the finale, I suppose, in this stall room. And this connects to the Black Shroud in some way, I guess. Just for the sake of seeing the path that we haven't seen yet, maybe I'll teleport over to Camp Tranquil when heading over to Hihibaru, and take the route south from there. But before that, Minfilia did say that we can investigate under our own discretion with whatever means we see fit. I think Komori probably wants to check in with the Thaumaturge Guild. Maybe boss some people around there and see if she can get somebody to help her out. Of course, our real reason here is for the quest, but we don't know that yet, or rather, Komori doesn't know that yet. Komori, I've been waiting for you, in a way. Please let me explain. Do you know of the Marasaja Pit? It is a prison here in Ul'dah. In prison, a man will do most anything to keep his mind occupied. Of late, one inmate claims to hear the voice of Nal Thal. No doubt he has lost his mind after serving 100 years of the life sentence. But he knew of you by name, Komori, and maintains the traders demand you win the Gem of Shitoto and exchange it for his release. A farce, no doubt. I make it for nothing more than the maniacal ravings of a cell-crazed, sweaty-toothed madman. But I fear the only way to be sure is to free him of the pit. The prisoner's name is Kukuruka Tartaruka, and if his story were not proof enough of his lunacy, he also styles himself a black mage. But such magic was lost to Eorzea centuries ago. Who does this senile charlatan think he will fool with such rubbish? Nevertheless, he has invoked the name of Nal Thal, and so the Order feels it unwise to ignore his words. Though I am still no believer, you have come, as he said you would. So let us get to the bottom of this, shall we? It may be that you are an agent of fate, or perhaps you are merely a crooked old man's accomplice. In either case, I ask that you travel to Highbridge in eastern Thanalan. Seek out the planar fissure, a rift between this world and the next. Fell whatever beasts might lurk there, and water the earth with their blood. According to our jailed mummer, doing so will give rise to the Gem of Shitoto. The gem is no more than a pretty stone oft mentioned in bedtime stories and the tales of fairies. We shall see if it truly exists. I shall await your findings here. Return to me when the deed is done. Well, that's fortuitous. I didn't actually realize that's taking us right next to where we go for the main quest. Literally right next to it. Well, Komori's disappointed that she was looped into some job, but since it's taking her to exactly where she needs to go, I guess she'll bother and see what exactly this raving lunatic has to say. Or see if there's any truth to what he's saying. Should be good for a laugh. And right around here is where the Black Shroud connects to Thanalan. I suppose you could say that the heavily dense foresty area of the Shroud is kind of giving way to the slightly more deserty region. I'm not sure what that's called in actuality, the brush, I suppose. A little more arid over here, but I guess you can tell there's quite a jump between this area and the Black Shroud. I suppose you're supposed to assume that the distance you travel from this transition is several hundred miles, maybe less. In any case, it's a bigger distance than certain other transitions. Well, not that it's important. That's the thing that I want to think about while exploring this place on foot. And over there would be Thal's bedchambers or whatever. High bridge. Certainly is high up. What's that over there? I have never noticed that before. An entire statue built into the cliff face, and I've never noticed it before, along with various ruins, but... wow. We head down there. God's sake, woman, you're disrupting my research. I was in the midst of measuring the flow of ether, but you've gone and made me raise my voice. Now I can't feel a goddamn thing. Bah, I say. Bah. Oh, I guess that's where our quest is. Is this for airships or something? I was given to believe that Eorzea only had the airships recently installed as a fixture of public transport. Maybe this is something else. There's old on the difference. I guess the transition from Eastern Thanalan to Central Thanalan is in itself At least a few dozen miles, maybe. Not sure. I'm not the best judge of distance, just by sight. And as fate would have it, here we are. Silence? I should have walked out of that. Oh, we are not done. Thaumaturge, hear me. Put up your weapon, friend. Kazagcha means you no harm. So, you are the one of whom Kukuruka's prophecy speaks. By your hand was the blood of these creatures split upon this earthen vein, was it not? Then you have earned this gem of Shitoto. Take it. You will know what to do with it when the time comes. With this, my part is done. Farewell for now. Well, before we go investigate that, we have a job to finish up. Welcome to Highbridge, adventurer. Whatever you seek, I, Hihibaru, can provide it. Probably. You're after a masked man? I'm not sure I have one of those in stock. Oh, you're after a masked man? What did you say? Oh, I see. Different meaning of the word after. Why didn't you say so sooner? Such an individual might have featured in one of the many rumors I've heard. If you linger a while, mayhap you'll learn a thing or two, eh? When the Order of Nalthal began excavating the ruins below, I had hopes that Highbridge would turn into a bustling hub for pilgrims. But thanks to the nigh-endless beastman raids, folk are too afraid to come within a mile of here. I sold everything I owned to get my venture started, and I'm loath to give it up without making an earnest effort to stick it out. But if things keep going as they are, I'll be bankrupt before the moon is through. Whining won't do me any good, though. No, for my business to survive, I need business. Speaking of which, perhaps you'd like to browse my wares. Spend a bit of coin to help a struggling merchant. The masked man? But I'll take your bloody mask. I know what I said before, but vague rumors are all I've got. If you want to know about him, go and ask the other merchants. Highbridge was meant to become the next Emerald Avenue, where the throngs of pilgrims come to marvel at the ruins below. And more importantly, where's their coin? Why is business so fickle? I guess they all probably missed the ruins below like I did, otherwise they would have stopped to gawk. Aye, I've heard tell of the masked double. Seems he's been appearing not only around Highbridge, but elsewhere about Dandaland too. Enough folk have reported seeing him to convince me he's more than a figment of the imagination, but little is known about him otherwise. On the trail of a masked man? Aye, I've heard of him, but only in hushed tones and faint whispers. It's said he wears a black hooded robe and looks right suspicious. And that's about all I can say, little though it is. Have I seen a masked man wearing a dark robe? No, I haven't, nor do I wish to. Business is bad enough without shady characters lurking about. Folk have been giving Highbridge a wide berth because of all the Kikarin raids. None but the most devout of pilgrims are willing to come here anymore. Judging by your expression, I take it you didn't learn much of use. Look, I'm sorry for my rudeness earlier. It's just that things are tough for us merchants at the moment. The Kikirin raids are so constant, so organized. We're beginning to suspect that someone is orchestrating it all. I tend to put my own welfare first, like most of us do. But that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. I promise to keep an eye out for your masked man. If I see or hear anything, you'll be the first to know. I finally got some honest-to-God's information on your masked man. I guess he just remembered. Why so confident? Because I saw him with my own two eyes. I was out for an evening stroll, minding my own business, when I noticed a column of smoke rising from a cliff, over at Thal's Respite. Curious, I took myself over there to find a masked man. Your masked man, I'm sure of it. Standing by a fire. As if in answer, some Kikirin appeared soon after, and the group began talking at length. I'm afraid I was too far out of earshot to hear much of anything. After the group had dispersed, an idea came to me. If you were to use this smoldering coal to spread a fire, you might be able to arrange a similar meeting. It will be dangerous, I shouldn't doubt, but you've proven yourself more than a match for a pack of rats. So what do you think? That's some sound reliable information, even if I do say so myself. Well worth all the lingering around you've been doing, wouldn't you say? Again, he talks as if we've been here a while, which hasn't really been all that long. Probably another indication that certain quests were cut from this quest line as part of the streamlining process. As well as the line that he said, he saw the robed individual sometime during the night, as if we've been here for a day or several days. I imagine the other quests we could have done have been moved to these side quests over here. Keep at it, guys. Thinking back on the fiasco from last episode, with the whole cutscene getting in the way, or being almost skipped. I think probably the same thing happened to the Let's Player that got me into this game. Actually, I think I vaguely recall that happening while I was watching her series. Funny that that happened to me without me remembering it. Back so soon? Were you able to find any clues leading to your masked man? This scroll. It bears a prayer to Rhalgr, the Destroyer. In case you're unfamiliar, Rhalgr is the guardian deity of All Amigo, which is currently under Garlean rule. It's highly uncommon for folk of other nations to revere him. I'd wager my last skill that your assailant was All Amigan. It seems this masked man of yours is very well connected. I must confess, the merchant in me envies such a diverse network of contacts. The selfsame merchant also senses danger ahead, and darkness besides. Are you certain you'd rather not take things nice and slow here at Highbridge? The Alamigan bandit you had a run-in with is somehow connected to your masked man of mystery. So it stands to reason that if you want to pick up on the trail again, you should head toward Little Alamigo, over in southern Thanalan. Just so you know what to expect, a settlement is a favored destination for those refugees who couldn't, well, adapt to life in Ul'dah. The hearts of the denizens are said to be as barren as the wasteland they live in, and for all intents and purposes, it's a lawless place. Be prepared for a not-so-warm welcome. Now, I'm not certain how much of a help she will be, but it just so happens I have a daughter who has, relocated to Little Alamigo. Her name is Hihira, and it shouldn't hurt to seek her out first. And while you have her attention, I'd be obliged if you could send my love. Not a day goes by that I don't think of her. I suppose this is it then. I'd hope that you would linger here a while, pull some fiends, spend some coin, what have you, but something tells me you're destined for greater things. Wherever it is you end, I wish you the best. A side quest here. Hair-raising problem. Just to have a peek of what we might have done if this were an earlier revision of the game. Bothersome buzzards. And even more bothersome birds. Not the most exciting quests, if these were part of the main story quest back in the day. I think what I'll do is head back to the Thaumaturgist Guild and continue where we left off with that quest. Well, you certainly smell as though you've been off spilling blood. But it will take more than a waft of foulness to convince me you are an agent of divine will. I take it yours was an eventful journey. It is exactly as described in the tales. Could it truly be? The gem of Shitoto? 12 be good. I can feel the magic pulsing from within. The tales tell that only souls blessed by the grace of Null Dal are entrusted with the keeping of the gem. This is beyond mere coincidence. I must investigate further. And you must assist me, Komori. This now involves you as much as any other. Still, I cannot shake my inner skeptic. If Kukuruka somehow made contact with the outside world, he may be manipulating adventurers such as yourself, for ends yet unknown to us. I will call an emergency council of the Order. Please wait here. That will not be necessary. Kukuruka, what are you doing here? How have you escaped the pit? Watch your tongue, you insolent fool. Master has passed a century in meditation communing with Null Dal. You will address him with the proper respect. The jailers of the Marasaja pit are very different from the heretics of your order. Suffice it to say, they had wisdom enough to listen. Must I remind you again? The will I speak is that of Null Dal himself. The true criminal is he who ignores the words of a god. Beware, Kukuruka. The 12 seldom spare those who claim their voice. This mummer's farce will bring disaster to us all. cause of disaster to come will be no words of mine, of that be sure. Nalthal spoke unto me. By his own declaration, the seal on the void gate will be broken. Once thrown open, it can be closed once more by none but she who bears the gem of Shitoto. I speak of you, Komori Moriko. The gem you hold is the mark of a mage of the black. With it in your hand, you must now set forth to gather the keys needed to seal the void gate. Wait, you can't. I mean, you don't have the right to. I can't just let this happen. Silence, you hollow-pated prig. Those who do not listen shall not be heard. You take for yourself the title of thaumaturge, and so I will not suffer you to claim ignorance. You know as well as any of the existence of another world rife with shadow and monstrosity, the void. As the power of the void waxes, the barrier between it and our own world wanes. Eventually that barrier will falter, and the void gate will open. Once it has, only the black magic of Eld can reseal it. This is sacrilege. As one who now commands the forces of destruction, I bid you go forth, Black Mage. The gem of Shitoto is our sigil, the mark of the Magi devoted to the true dark art. In it you already possess the first key, required to see the void gate sealed. You have taken the black, but time is needed before the black takes you. Before it permeates your mind and body, and colors every fiber of your being dark as pitch. Visit Milvaneth Sacrarium, and there hear the words of the lie. Do not fear the power to destroy. Master it, and with it destroy that which would destroy you. No unique dialogue for what just happened. Komori isn't one to normally enjoy being sidetracked in this way, but at the promise of power unspeakable, I think she will. I never actually realized what this structure was for. I don't think you come here outside of Black Mage Quest. Milvaneth Sacrarium, dedicated to the worship of Nald, was extensively damaged during the calamity. Repairs continue even to this day, to the great inconvenience of our adherents. Master is meditating in his chambers. For Nalthal always speaks, and Master must listen. He has entrusted me with guiding you on your path. But you must walk alone yet. Come again when the black has grown stronger within you. And jobs, I guess, as they're properly called, with the previous lower level versions being called classes or something, are just equipped to a soul crystal. Been a while since I've seen a menu like this. Actually, has this always been here? I wonder. And with that, our list of actions has changed greatly. Seems like there's Berserk 3, which we unlocked through a quest. Meaning I should probably move Fire 3 to match that. I'm sure this will all change as I learn what these moves actually do later on. This is going to get pretty complicated. Oh, while Komori contemplates her newfound power, I think now would be a good time to take a break.